What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and I'm here tonight with a review for Tyler Perry's The Oval. This is season number 1. This is episode number 2, and it's titled Unforgettable. Was this episode unforgettable? Some of the acting was, but other than that, no. So without further ado, you guys, let's go ahead and just jump into tonight's video. Alright, so this episode picks up where last week's episode left off with Ruth. You know, she was pleading, well, not Ruth, Miss Nancy was pleading to Ruth to, not to take the baby because, she called in her crazy cult goons in there. And Miss Nancy's like, please don't take the baby. And Callie's like, Mommy, I don't want to go with you. She said, of course you don't want to go with me, baby, because your daddy has poisoned you against me. He's brainwashing you. I'm like, nah, he's brainwashing her to make her think she's crazy. He ain't got to do much of that because you're proving it right here with this cloak on and these fools in here with you with this cloak on. So you're doing a good job, a bang-up job of doing that. And Miss Nancy pulled a knife out, so I'm like, no, y'all are not taking it, baby. I'm like, Miss Nancy, I don't know what that knife is going to do to those three, those people. Like, you should have run into the kitchen. You said, come on, Callie, go to the kitchen, get a skillet, play some grip ball with their asses and just pop, pop, pop. Hit their asses, like do something. But she didn't do that. And, they managed to still look Callie. And I'm like, oh, Miss Nancy. Miss Nancy just sitting there screaming. And I'm just like, Miss Nancy, you brought this upon yourself. And I'm trying to figure out, why was Ruth singing, bring all the little children to me? Bring all the little, like, she just kept singing it. And I'm like, girl, what the fuck is your problem? Like, nutcase. So, like I said, they ended up taking Callie, and they went up, they getaway car was something like a 1996, like a Toyota Corolla or some shit like that. And I'm just like, okay. So then we later saw Miss Nancy. So Miss Nancy's on the road. She's freaking out. Where's the baby? Ruth. Oh, Barry gonna kill me. And then she called Richard. Richard's phone went to voicemail. So then she called, Barry's girlfriend, Sharon. And she says, they took her. They took who? She says, Callie. They took Callie. I'm like, and she's like, what? And yeah, they took, and she's like, Miss Nancy, okay, calm down. Come pick me up. So then we see Miss Nancy. She went and picked, Sharon up, and they're, still looking for Callie. And Sharon was like, you know what, Miss Nancy, let me drive because you are shaking over there, so let me take over the wheel. So then they get to the crib, and, Miss Nancy, they called the police, and the police show up, and they were like, she's missing. And she says that her mother took her. They said her mother took her. She's like, she doesn't have custody of her. And then she's like, she's a part of this cult. And they said the name of the cult, and they looked at each other. They were like, wait, what was that? What was that? And then they said, well, most people in that cult, those kids are with their parents of their own free will, legally. I'm like, she just sat there and told you that the bitch took her. She has paperwork proving that her son has custody of the daughter. Y'all don't want to look at that paperwork. And then, yeah, talking about go to court. Go to court? Go to court? Oh, okay. Go to court. That is kidnapping. I don't give a damn if she is her mother. She doesn't have custody of her. That's kidnapping. The cops in that town are stupid as fuck. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? Okay. Let's talk about Lily's extra slow ass. So Lily and Bobby, they're still in the bathroom, and they're just going at it. So then the phone rings, and Lily answers it. She didn't think she answered it. And, she was just sitting there telling Bobby how Don is such a good guy. And Don's like, babe, are you there? Are you there, Lily? And she's like, oh, hey, he's like, where are you? She's like, I'm in the bathroom. I'm like, you're in the bathroom. And, she said, Don apologizes to her. He's like, I took a lot of pictures for you. Like, your dress is going to be all over the place. And, she tells him, oh, you don't have to apologize to me. You're right. He doesn't have to apologize to you because you just cheated on him. And, she gets off the phone with him. And Bobby is a nutcase. Because Bobby like, you shouldn't feel bad about this. She was like, oh, so I'm assuming this is not the first time that you've done this. He says, what do you mean? This is not. She said, this is your first time. He said, and then she mentioned his wife. He said, what wife? She said, your ring. He said, oh, this. I'm like, wait a minute, is this fool even married? Like, there's something off about this dude. And then, she tells him, can you get out? He says, you're being mean, and I don't like people being mean. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. Something's off with this dude right here. So then, and then it was just the way he was talking to her. It was just like, okay, this dude is, psychotic 20 to 1 times over. So then, they finally get ready, because she told Don that she was getting ready to get back to DC. So they're getting ready to get on the flight, and then when she sits down, and who sits right beside her? Bobby. And he said he has a note for her. He's talking about meet him in the bathroom so they could be a part of the Mile High Club. I'm like, no. So she calls for the steward. She calls for the flight attendant. Can you put me in another seat? Man, we're full. She's like, well, do you think anybody would want to switch to first class? I can find out. So then let's talk about when she got home. So when she got home, she got out of her Uber or, Lyft, whichever one it was. So she goes into the crib, and when she gets in there, she hears some noise. She's like, babe, is that you? No, it's Bobby. So wait a minute, how the hell did you get here? Did you follow me home? I did. I'm like, bitch, are you gonna call the cops? She says, I'm calling the cops. Then he starts to walk up the stairs. She said, I'm like, what about calling the cops? Like, don't follow homie. You can obviously see that he's crazy and demented, but you gonna sit here and follow him. I think the fuck not. So then she gets upstairs, he gets into bed, and she goes and she grabs a gun. Get out of my house. Get out. He said, I thought you were calling the cops. Get out. You're in my house. I can shoot you. You were intruding. He says, she's like, I never met you. He says, but what about those cameras at the airport? So then, he's coming toward her, and Don comes in, and then she goes, boom, boom, and shoots him. I'm like, were those supposed to be warning shots? Because you clearly grazed him in the side. Like, you clearly grazed him. I saw that. I'm like, she wants to shoot him to kill. Talking about she knows how to shoot, but obviously you don't, because you really want to shoot him to kill. Either you want to shoot him to kill, or you just don't know how to shoot that well. But Lily is extra specially slow. Moving on. All right, you guys, let us talk about this first family, because there is something seriously wrong with this family. So, the episode, it actually picked up where last week's episode left off, which was with Barry, being accused of raping little bitch Gail when he didn't. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, y'all are not that bright, are you? Because with a rape, she would have bruises on her. Her clothes would probably be torn. But just because she's, when a woman screams out rape, we do have to take that seriously, because we just have to take that seriously. So I'm not gonna sit here and shame her, but because of the fact that I know she's lying, I am shaming her. But in ordinary circumstances, I would not shame a woman that says she was raped. I wouldn't shame anybody that said that they're raped. But with Gail ass, we know bitch is lying. Like, girl, you're fucking lying. And then Barry tells what happened. So when he was in there, she told Jean to get out. When Jean got out, she started to come onto him, and she tried to give him head. He pushed her off, and that's what happened. And then from there, they came into the room. And I'm like, anybody would, again, like, how far did Jean go? Like, that was the next thing. How far did Jean go to not hear what the fuck was going on? He up here screaming, but she's the one that's getting raped. Okay. Right. So then, Richard and Priscilla, that's the woman's name that's been with Richard. So she says, I hope that the little bitch sobers up and tells the truth. I'm like, good luck with that one. Now, let's talk about the first son. The first son is a perv, because at the inauguration party, there was this woman, and he swiped her ass. I'm like, wait a minute. Lil' homie a perv. Like, he gonna have a case against him pretty soon. So, the first family, they make it home. They're greeted with applauses, and they're introduced to everybody. They're introduced to Priscilla and Richard. And, Priscilla's telling Richard everything will be okay. So then one of the Secret Service men says that Gail, he came down and told Don that Gail said she was raped. And Richard said, he was like, by who? And Richard says, by my son, Barry. He's like, well, how did he get here? Does he work here? He says, no, he doesn't work here, but he's been here. He's had access to this place since he was a kid. He's also, what was he doing here? He was here helping me because I can't lift the boxes. Okay, he was like, okay, so where is he now? So they said he's in the, the command center break room. So Sam tells Don that they go to where they're heading to where Barry is, and Sam tells Don that he believes what Barry is saying. So then Barry tells again what happened, and then Don he orders a rape kit. And he says, you know what, I'm gonna have to go up there and tell Mr. President. I'm like, again, y'all don't. I'm gonna shut up on this for right now, but I'm gonna move on. All right, so we see Hunter and Victoria. So they're in bed, and Hunter is on the phone. He's pretending like he's on the phone with someone else that he's not on the phone with. So once he hangs up the phone and he leaves out of the room, Victoria gets the phone and she calls it, and it's his whore, and she says, go to bed. She says he is going to bed with me, you little two-bit whore. And the girl hangs up in Victoria's face, and Victoria calls back and she tells her, basically, look here, little bitch. I know about you. I've known about you for a long time. I know about you after I had my, after we got married. Then after I had my second child, like I've known about you for a long time, and I'm the type of bitch that you need to watch out for. I'm like, damn, Victoria is a beast. So then Hunter comes in, and Victoria tells me to get rid of your phone. He says, I'm not getting rid of my phone, Victoria. She says, okay, I got you one better. So she takes the phone and she flushes it down the toilet. And this is where you can really see that these two literally fucking hate each other. Like, she calls him a dumb farm boy. He called her a bitch. I'm just like, well, god damn, tell each other how y'all really feel about the other. So then Don comes in. He wants to talk to, he wants to talk to the president about Gail. And, he was like, can we talk outside? And Victoria's like, no, you can talk in here. He was like, I would prefer to talk outside. She said, no, you can talk in here. He said, she's like a dog with a bone. She's not going to let it go, so you might as well just say it. So then he says, you know what? So Gail said that she was raped. By who? By the head butler's son. So they were like, so where is she now? They said she's in her room, but she's refusing to take a rape kit. And Victoria's like, you know what? I got this taken care of. Let me deal with it. So Victoria goes into the room where Gail is, and what does Victoria do? She has a trash, look like a trash can full of water, and she just chunks it right on little Gail, and she tells her, so you were raped, huh? So this lady right here, she's here to take a rape kit on you. And Gail says, no, I'm not doing it. She says, okay, you can either let her do it, or what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have two of the biggest guys come in here, spread your legs wide open, and have them do it on you. And she finally does get the truth out of Gail, and Gail does say he didn't rape her, which we all knew that. So then Victoria comes out and tells Don all is good. She was just mistaken. I'm like, mistaken? 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 That's where we're going with this. She was mistaken, Victoria? No, little bitch was lying. That's what she was doing. And Victoria tells her, the next time my daughter says something, she says she's a liar. Don't wake me up out of my sleep for that shit. I'm like, well, damn. Tell them how you really feel. So then, we see Priscilla. So she is mad, and she said, Barry could not have done this. Which again, we know that Barry didn't do it. So then Don comes down and says that Barry is being let go, and for him and Richard not to mention this. And if they do, they'll try to prosecute him. I'm like, what? But y'all didn't do a rape kit, so there's nothing to prosecute. Like, so what evidence would you have against him to say you're gonna prosecute? You didn't do a rape kit, so there's no proof that anything ever happened. Like, come on. But Richard says, you know what, cool. We're gonna go home. No, we good. So then Richard and Barry, they're in the car, and Richard is trying to tell Barry like, hey, none of this ever happened. Let it the fuck go. Richard's like, what do you mean, Dad? He said, none of this happened. Let it go. And he's like, no. He said, let it go. Let it the fuck go. So they get home, and they get ready to go. He says, calm yourself down, because your mama gonna be able to tell. So calm the fuck down and don't say shit. So then they go inside, and Miss Ruth, she's rocking back and forth. Miss Nancy. I really want to call her Ruth Nancy and Nancy Ruth. Like, they gave a young girl an old ass name, Ruth. But they tell Barry what happened, and Barry gonna sit there and blame Sharon. I'm like, wait a minute, Sharon ain't done shit. And Miss Nancy was like, it was me. He was like, you did it, Mama. I told you not to have Ruth around my daughter. So Barry dips the fuck out and he goes trying to find Lil Callie. I'm like, where are you gonna go? Do you know where the cult is? Because if you know where the cult is, then cool. But you guys, that was the episode. So be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later. And also hit that bell notification button and share the video. I think I might have said that. If I didn't, share. And I will see you guys later for American Horror Story.